really didn't. If I did, I would have smacked you.
Which one co-op would be used for like some?
Oh, come get this money.
Sort of death run map or collect the coins map. It just depends on what you're doing. Free for all would be like a deathmatch type game. And custom is custom, man. I mean, I don't really know how to explain this best. Then you can select the amount of teams you want. 2, 3, or 4. 8 players are allowed in creative now, no longer 16, at least according to the patch notes. So you can either have, if you don't want them to have a limit, you can put infinite. After last spawn, self-explanatory. It means whenever you run out of spawns appear. Type of scoreboard, this is actually a new feature. You can just set it based on what you're doing. If you're doing a coin collecting game mode, you can put collect items. A deathmatch type game, you can put elimination. A free play would probably put nothing there, if I had to guess. Same with objectives, unless you use the objective device, which is actually new to the galleries or devices tab. If you want me to do a tutorial on that, let me know. And I actually do have a playlist on my channel called Creative Academy. If you want to learn some things about creative, some tutorials and whatever, check that out. Time limit, set that to whatever you want. I usually do infinite, which is none. But eliminations to win. You you want the player to hit in order to win the game. Pretty sure you have a bunch of options here at 1 through 10, or you can put none or off. It seems like score to win you need a 10 million for one of these options, so that's interesting. Last standing, if you want the last standing to be the winner, sort of like the battle royale, I guess, you can put that. Join in progress means if you are playing and you have a public lobby, maybe in playground, and you want someone to be able to join after you've already started the game, you can select that. You would put it to spawn, but if you don't want the player to be able
My arm hurt.
join and just spectate, that's fine as well. Spawn location is where you want the player to spawn. Current location, not too sure what that does. What I usually have it at is spawn pads, which are in the creative tab devices right here. You place the spawn pads wherever you want on the map. Post game spawn location, I always leave it at island start. Not too familiar with this, but doesn't really matter, hasn't really affected me. Auto start means if you want the game to start automatically. Show island code watermark means if you want the island code to be displayed on the top of the screen where the compass would usually be. This would only work if you have access to publishing your island, which, as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to explain to you guys here shortly. But yeah, so guys, remember when you select the settings that you have to start the game in order to save them by clicking square. It actually seems like it's saved without me starting the game, but just to be safe, in earlier updates you had to start the game in order to save them, and then you could just go into your options, click my island, and to end the game, to go back to what you were doing, to editing the map, you can click square. Next, the game settings. Time of day, set that to whatever you want. Same with starting health, max health, starting shields, and max shield. With the max health and max shields, you can set how many shield they can have to max. Not too difficult to figure out. You can even put like 10,000 shields if you want. Let's see how much health you can go up to. 10,000 health, that would be like boss settings. Infinite ammo, infinite resources, also self-explanatory. Pickaxe building damage, if you want something to be broken at a default pace, like let's say you hit a tree in Battle Royale. If you want that tree to break at the same pace in your game, set it as default. If you don't want the player to be able to break anything, leave it at none. And if you want the player to just break things instantly, obviously instant. Drop items when eliminated, and fall damage, I think is self-explanatory. Gravity means how far up you can jump. The higher you have it, the lower you will jump, I believe, and the lower you have it, the higher you will jump. You can play around with that, honestly, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I think I got it confused last video. Player flight means if you want players to be allowed to fly on your island, like how I'm doing right now. And I just realized my skin is not loaded in for some reason. Why is the default skin? I started using the, I'm pretty sure it's Recon Expert, the new updated version, because it looks pretty nice. Might have to switch off the Verge, if you know what I'm saying. Player names and locations means if you want the player name to be shown on the map at all times, then you would leave it as on or team only, whatever you want, whatever you're thinking, doesn't really matter. Glider redeploy means if you can pull out your glider, as you can see right here, that's what it means. You jump off something, then you'll be able to redeploy it. If you don't want to have it exactly like that, and you would rather have it more, not RNG, but I don't really know the word for it, you can go into your consumables tab and select the gliders. They're exactly the same, pretty much. Down but not out means if someone can be revived, meaning let's say you get knocked in squads, your teammates can pick you up if they're still alive. If you don't want to have that option, you can turn it off, or you can leave it on or default. I don't really know the difference between default and on, but hey man, it's whatever. Building damage in-game means if players can break structures. If you're building a death run or a hide-and-seek map or something like that, I would usually leave it off. If you're doing a deathmatch type game or a 1v1 type map, I would leave it as on, just so structures can be broken. Block building in-game means if you want to block building access in-game, just to be clear, you won't be able to do that if you have it on because you're blocking it. And lastly, respawn time means how fast you want a player to respawn after death. If you have it enabled, the max you can do is 30 seconds and you do any number 1 through 30. I accidentally tapped my mic, hopefully it wasn't a big deal. So next guys, you can set your island's name and your island description. Where the description would show up is when a player joins a map on the left, it usually shows 3 bullet points if a player has 3 bullet points added for their map, and the island name. So if you guys want to put that in, that'd be cool. If not, then it will just be empty. The tab will still show up, so you might as well put something there. As I said, you get 3 bullets. I would just put what your map is about or how to play your map. And as I said, you could also put your island's name. Permissions, pretty much if you want someone to help you build a map of some sort, you can give them edit permissions right here. Right now I have it as private. There's only 2 options, but usually you would have a whole list right here. If someone, let's say you give them edit permissions and then they leave, you can still remove the permissions from them. Lastly, the island's tools, backup and restore go hand in hand, because if you back up your map, that means you can restore it if you mess up. Super easy. So let's say I back up this and accidentally break this floor right here. That means everything over here will break. Well, I gotta break one of these walls too, but let's say this whole section breaks and I have it backed up, I would be able to restore it. Super straightforward. Alright guys, on to the next part. Reset means if you want to completely reset your island to its original state. So for this island, it pretty much just put trees back. This is actually the new sandbar island. It's actually really flat and it's really nice for building maps like this. So I'll probably be using these types or this island for death run matches from now on. Last but not least, guys, what you all been waiting for: how to publish your map. I've been getting this a little bit mixed up lately in my other videos, but I got a definitive answer for you right now. And that definitive answer is you need a content creator code. Now, that being said, there are multiple ways that you can still publish your map without it, and if you do not have access to publishing your map, if you do have a content creator code, I know some of you guys have that issue. You guys left comments saying that you have a code but you can't publish. So for all of you guys that do not have access to it, there is a way to publish your map without a creator code. Now let's be clear, this is not a 100% working way. You have to have a really nice map and you have to pretty much be lucky, because what you have to do is show off your map like this in a Reddit. And that Reddit is Fortnite Creative. If you go to the Fortnite Creative Reddit, there are Epic staff looking through there pretty much all the time. Allegedly, this is something that I've read online. I tried doing research to see what the issue was. And if you go to the Fortnite Creative Reddit, there are Epic staff looking through there pretty much all the time. Allegedly, this is something that I've read online. I tried doing research to see what the issue was and how to definitely publish your map. And this is pretty much what I found. So guys, you need to get really nice screenshots or maybe even a video of your map and then just try and get it recognized. Try